right, we're rolling.
Baby, you got some big balls.
If nobody's heard that before, whoever's listening to this intro, that is the best Christmas song ever.
Baby, you got some big balls.
All right.
What are they really saying in that?
Bulbs. B-U-L-B-S.
Yeah, because that wasn't intentional.
I know. It's pretty amusing, though.
What kind of, what bulbs? Oh,
like Christmas bulbs that you put on a tree.
A tree.
Yeah. And then they say smash them into the window or fashion them in the window. I don't know what it means, but they want you to hang your balls in the window. The bulbs. It's really funny. Anyways, welcome. This is episode 59 of KT Confidential.
The evening cast.
Yes, this is the, what are we going to call it? The evening cast?
Yeah, the evening cast of KT Confidential.
What are we drinking here?
No idea.
McClellan?
Something? Scotch. It's been a long week. It's only Thursday.
It's a bit peaty. I like that.
That smokiness.
Yeah, peaty. So I don't know for sure. So somebody listening can correct me, but it has something to do with, I think it has to do with moss in the soil. And
like a peat moss?
Yes, exactly. And somehow that taste transitions into the drink. I like it. Some of them are overwhelming. This one's actually quite good.
How do you usually drink Scotch?
Just straight, neat. Sometimes I'll put a little bit of maybe like one ice cube in it.
Ice cube?
Sometimes. I don't. The rocks I'm not a big fan of. I have them.
Why?
I don't know. I find. I don't know. I don't know. A little bit of water in Scotch or whiskey opens it up a little bit. Like a few drops.
Yeah.
Ice cube is more than you need, but I don't mind it. I like it with an ice cube occasionally. But more often than not, just straight up Scotch.
It's the way I like it. You got some notes. I see you got some notes.
Yeah. Well, this is not even on the right page. But it is. I made some notes of things I wanted to talk about. And last time we finished the podcast off, we were going to talk about something, the rental market, because it has changed. And I called it. I don't know if you remember, but I called it.
What episode did you call it?
I don't remember. But I called it. I'm going to look back.
What did you say?
I said, I was a little bit off with the date, but I said come January 2020.
Oh, that's right.
The rental market was going to shift, I think, in a big way. So we haven't seen the true effects of it yet, but there's a lot of inventory now. So when we said that, there were 4 condos on the market. I remember that. Now there are about 3 dozen. In Milton. Now there are about 3 dozen.
But there's also two additional buildings that just closed.
Well, that's why I was forecasting that.
Right.
Because
that's right. Yes, right? I remember that now.
And so I was looking at freehold homes because we just listed one. And the client, I was chatting with her and she wanted to know stats from last year. So I pulled all the stats from November, December, and January. November 2018 compared to this year, November, almost identical in terms of volume. There's like 64 transactions one year and 67 the next. So really close. And then December, from the 1st of December to the 16th of December, year over year. Last year, there were about 40 some odd transactions. This year, 14. So far. No, but I'm talking for half the month. This half the month compared to the last half the month. Mm-hmm. Yeah, huge difference. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
I think that's going to shift back again. It's just a coincidental timing where nobody really wants to rent a house in December unless there's a need.
But the stats are there. Last year, this time it was happening.
Okay. Did you check 2017?
No, I didn't go back that far.
Well, I would be curious now to see historical year over year, 2017, maybe not 2016, but because last year, if you recall, there wasn't a lot of inventory, but what was happening, I think, was a lot of people were selling and renting.
Right.
Because the prices came up again. And then, people said, well, if I can get this much for it now.
Do you mean like people were selling their house and then going to rent?
Correct.
Yes. Yeah, I remember that. We had clients that did that.
Yep.
But I think a lot of them missed the boat. They didn't get back in time.
Yeah. Or shouldn't have sold at that time.
Or shouldn't have sold, yeah. Because now we're back up to the same price point. And many of those people are still renting.
I think part of the problem with all these rental properties right now is that the price escalated and created that excess supply because it's forcing people to look elsewhere.
Right.
And we're talking about Milton, Oakville, maybe a bit of Mississauga, Burlington. There aren't a lot of good rental properties in those areas necessarily, but Oakville's having the same problem. And it really is a factor of affordability. And that's why we're seeing rental markets in some of the areas that I spoke about in the last podcast about my top 4 places to invest in right now. Those areas are seeing a pickup in their, what?
You're very monotone and blah today. Usually you're more upbeat and I'm quieter.
Let me drink some more.
Okay. I will wait.
So usually those are the areas. Is that better for you?
Yeah.
It's late in the day. I've had a long day. I've been up since.
I get it.
I've gotten into this weird routine that my body wants to go to sleep at like 10:30, which I'm not used to at all.
Yeah.
And I'm up like fully charged, ready to go like 3:30, 4 o'clock.
Right.
So it's 5 o'clock now.
Why did yours beep on there? What was that?
I don't know. Was it on there? Anyways, I'll kick it up a notch for you.
Okay. So on the note of that, remember how last week in the last podcast, we discussed how I've been very blah, like just not focused and tired and stuff, right? So the next day, my mom came over because she was watching Tessa or McKenna, so we could go to Alicia and I could go to Tessa's like Christmas open house thing at school. I was chatting with my mom and her husband, my stepdad, Mike. He had surgery this year and he's had something very similar. And he did some research and attributed it to something. I don't know the technical term or if it's legit or not, but she said some people for up to a year can have like this brain fog. I think that's what I'm probably experiencing. It's really weird, like not sleeping very well, very distracted, not focusing.
It's interesting.
Yeah, not always, but quite often more tired than usual. I don't know if it has to do with the general anesthetic.
Yours, not mine.
But it's on mute. That's not though. There we go. Anyways, I just thought I would say I have a legit reason for it. So if I seem out of it.
Well, and the fact that you're probably not eating as well as you did, not exercising as much as you did. Well, I'm not exercising
at all. Eating, I'm not doing bad at all, actually. I've been pretty good, especially lately.
I didn't even ask you. So we had our team Christmas party.
Yeah.
What was your favorite part about the day?
Well, let's let everyone know what we did.
For those of you that want to know what we did for our Christmas party, we decided to get a limo. We met at...
Next time, let's get a little bit nicer limo, first of all.
Yeah, the guy was awesome. The guy was awesome.
I like him. I like his company.
But he rolled up in like a 1986... I don't know what kind of limo it is.
The stereo didn't even work. We had no music. We were using our phones for music.
Can you imagine if you took a black light into that thing?
Oh my gosh.
The roof looked like it had... Oh, I don't know.
But hey, he had it stocked up with ice.
He had it stocked up.
He was very nice.
Glasses were clean. He was prompt. He waited around, asked us. I feel like his rates were
more than fair.
Yeah.
He was good. I liked them.
And he had to chauffeur our ass around for 9 hours.
Yeah, I would have paid a little bit more for a nicer vehicle.
For sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's got them or not. That's Jen's fault. Anyways, so we met at...
Whenever there's a problem, it always defaults to Jen.
We met at the KT studio at around 2:30. We had We had some beverages stocked up, everybody's choice of beverage. We had some snacks. So we sat around, had a couple of drinks, had a few nibbles.
And I
showed up really late.
I know. I got my times wrong. I showed up
really late.
Very late. And I missed those festivities. So I came in quickly. I'm just trying to take a picture while we talk. Oh, damn phone.
Why don't you get a phone that's from the last 5 years?
I showed up. I didn't have to. Limo was waiting out front. I had to quickly come in. Two people threw those firebomb shots at me. I don't know who else is buying those. They're a great little pack that you bought. That box of.
Oh, I love them.
Yeah.
I've gone through probably 3 this month.
Yeah. So that was delicious. So I downed 2 of those. They're like an ounce and a bit.
Yeah. Just over an ounce.
Yeah.
But they're great.
That got me in the mood. I was ready to go.
Yeah.
And then we took that limo to axe throwing, which was a first for me.
Bad Axe in Burlington.
Yeah. I think we could have maybe planned a bit better, been there a little bit longer.
Maybe.
We weren't there very long, maybe an hour.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
We were also late getting into the limo, though.
Yes.
By about 15 minutes, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah.
So that ate into that time. So I think if we had that full time there, it would have been good. We actually had an hour and a half booked.
I think it was more than that, 2 hours, I think.
Was it?
I think so. Anyways.
It was bloody expensive for the time that we were there.
Yeah. Well, that's because we paid for the full amount.
Right.
So it wouldn't, well, it's still expensive. It's not cheap. But it was fun. I had a good time. I would do that again.
Yeah. Although the place that I've been axe throwing to, they had the long axes.
What?
Like,
like a real axe, like not a hatchet.
Right.
Oh my gosh. I would never throw that.
It's really cool to throw. And daggers.
That would be fun.
Those are difficult. Mm-hmm. So they had some more variety of things you can throw. But I think everybody by that time was a little bit tipsy because we were drinking in the limo.
Yeah.
We had fun. So from there, we went for dinner.
I think dinner was my favorite part.
Yeah.
Because I really enjoyed the food.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was good. What did you order?
I was quite drunk by then.
You were intoxicated.
Yeah. I had a filet mignon. Just a small one, a 6 ounce, I think. I should have got the bigger one.
That's what I ordered too.
Although it was satisfying. And that's what I'm learning to do, is trying to...
You don't need 8 ounces.
Proper portions. No, you don't. And we had a ton of sides. The sides were all amazing.
I only had like one thing. I think you guys
fuck, I ate everything.
I think that was the problem.
Vegetable tempura. That was really good. That was a huge serving.
Yeah. Didn't make it
try that. There was tons. And then we had the steak bites. They were tasty.
I tried one of those. That was good.
The ahi tuna.
Nope. Didn't have. Like, what are you guys hoarding it on me?
And then there was something else. Crab cakes. Anyways, it was all really good.
Nope.
I enjoyed that. And then we
didn't have it.
Wine, and I finished off my meal with my my go-to, the Black Russian.
Oh, you did? You had a drink there too?
Yeah.
I started with a mojito.
Yes.
Which was quite good.
I don't remember what I started with.
Nothing. I don't think.
I just had wine.
Yeah. That wine wasn't very good.
It was okay.
We didn't go over and above with the wine, but...
No, and I don't think after being that intoxicated that it's worth doing that.
It's true. So you really don't care. I really enjoyed the table that we were at, that round table.
Yeah, so I've always wanted a round table at home.
Me too.
Okay, interesting.
I love the round table, but the problem is if you have a big function, like a big Christmas dinner, what do you do with one round table that only seats 8 people? You cramming 12 or 16 in there? You can't.
No.
So do you have 2 round tables to make like an 8?
Where does the other one go?
I don't know. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Or you have one for the adults, because we're at that stage now. 1 for adults. 8 is usually sufficient for adults. And then a smaller folding rectangular 6 or 8 person table.
I don't know. In our family, there's really just Judah and Jonah that are at that age. So everybody else.
So then you put your favorite people at the bigger table. And not so favorite people.
I don't know what you guys do now, but our regular table so we clear out our den. Mm-hmm. We're not hosting this year, thank goodness, because the last 2 years we hosted. That's a lot of work. and a lot of money.
Yeah.
I figured just food and beverage, we were spending $1,500.
Yeah, it gets expensive.
And I do all the cooking and
$1,500?
yeah.
That can't be right.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow. It's expensive.
Yeah. Well, you go to Longo's, buy all the stuff, or Whole Foods, buy all the stuff. That's where I shop, those two places. Easily $700-800 right there.
Just for food.
And that's,
you're getting organic everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't buy the cheap stuff. I buy, good meats and plus I make the turkey, I make the brisket, I make some other kind of side like another kind of meat, plus all the sides and
you're making me hungry. I'm going tomorrow. I'm heading up to Huntsville and dinner's on Saturday.
Anyway, so you enjoyed Chop.
Chop was my favorite part. And then after Chop, we went to Yuck Yucks. I didn't thoroughly enjoy Yuck Yucks because I was half in the bag and I was passing out. So I ordered a drink of some sort. I think it was a vodka tonic or gin and tonic, or something like that.
Yeah.
And I didn't even drink it.
Really?
No, I put it under my chair. I didn't know where to put it. I couldn't really see straight. I didn't know where the table was.
I didn't know that.
It was dark in there. I was just, that.
Steve, and Jen, we were howling.
Really?
Chris too for a while.
That mode where you're just like,
I just want to go home and cuddle in my bed.
Yeah, and you're just teetering back and forth and you're just looking around.
Well, that's the thing. We don't go out much anymore, especially late at night.
That's true.
But yeah, as soon as we got back into the limo, you and Chris KO'd. You guys passed out. I have some great photos of the two of you.
That is so mean.
And me, Steve, and Jen, we had a few more drinks.
And Heather, didn't she?
I don't know. I don't know if she had another drink not in the limo.
Steve and Steve? Which Steve?
Brewman.
Chiquetto?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
Oh.
I was in my own little space at that point. Come on. But Yuck Yucks was good. It was a little offensive, the material, but that's what you expect.
What was he? I don't even remember.
I wasn't offended, but just...
Well, that's what, you expect that.
Yeah. Anyways, we had fun. We got home around midnight, maybe?
Yeah, we had to be done by midnight. I think that's the limo cutoff.
Yeah.
And all I remember is I don't remember getting into the limo after. I sort of remember walking to it, and then I woke up at home.
But so it was a little bit too long.
Yeah, it was too long.
But I much prefer doing an outing like that than what's a typical Christmas party of just going to one venue, having some standard food and a couple of drinks.
But it's not practical. Or how practical does it become if you've got 30 employees or 40 or 100? Like, then that's really the only option you have.
I don't know. Then we will get to that point. So
we'll have to start thinking about that.
I don't know, but I'm always in the mindset that, you got to treat the employees, not only with respect, but treat them, to be part of the team.
Well, you need to make sure they know you appreciate them.
Well, that's it, right? And we all work so hard and have family lives that keep us, very routined throughout the week, that once a year we can go out and have fun together and enjoy it. So I think everybody had a good time. I hope everybody had a good time. It seems like it.
I think so. I did.
Yeah.
I would do it again.
Yeah.
Maybe in 12 months.
Yeah. Just do it again next December.
I put something up here. Where did it go? There was a recent post on Facebook on the Milton Talk Facebook page. And it was somebody sharing one of the news articles from insideHalton. The title is Very Disappointed. Halton residents and councillors angry about airplane noise. What are your thoughts on it? Because we live right under the flight path.
It depends which way the wind's blowing.
No, it doesn't.
It does. What do you mean, no, it doesn't?
Okay. Explain.
I can't remember the name of the runway, but there is a specific runway that's...
We're talking about Pearson, not the little dinky ones that fly around from the Burlington airport.
Correct.
Yeah.
So when we get planes going over.
Although those ones are noisier.
Yeah. Well, they're flying much lower and at a slower speed, so you hear it. But the ones that you're talking about, when the planes come directly over our house
To land, yes.
yeah, that's a specific runway, and that's usually when the wind is blowing from west to east.
Right.
So because you're going with the wind sometimes. But it depends on temperature and the speed of the wind, because you might want to go against the wind. So it depends on how they're and then what other flights are actually landing at that time. So it's not
I'm just laughing because you took a lesson and you actually flew a plane. So you're having an opportunity to talk about all this knowledge you acquired.
I still am going to get my pilot's license. That is still on but it's not at this stage of my life. I decided that maybe I'll do a couple of more courses as I have some time in the summer.
It's a big commitment.
It's big. And I got pretty sick because of, I don't know, they say in small planes, because you start on a Cessna 172. Everything. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I remember the first time I went on Porter Airlines, it was a smaller plane than what I was used to. And I didn't mind it at all. I enjoyed it, but you could feel the yaw, like you could feel the tail going back and forth, and you can feel a lot more of what's happening, which I thought was kind of interesting, actually, because it happens in the bigger planes. You just don't notice it as much.
Well, so my very first flight, it was me, the teacher, the pilot, and Natalie.
Yeah.
And that's all there's room for. Cessna 172. And it was at the Brampton Airport. I didn't know what to expect, right? Mm-hmm. But he did the takeoff. And once we were at cruising altitude, he handed the reins over to me. So I got to fly the plane for, I don't know, half an hour or so.
That's cool.
And I did the landing.
Oh, that's
which was really cool. We went over the lake there. What is it called? The lake in Brampton. Heart
in
Lake?
Brampton?
Heart Lake?
Heart Lake, yeah.
And I was looking down, and I don't know what happened, but I just started getting like super nauseous to the point where I was going to vomit.
Yeah.
And he says,
just like a vertigo or something? Like,
yeah, kind of. That's what it kind of felt like, right? And he goes, okay, it's common. A lot of people get that. A lot of pilots even get that in the beginning. Eventually you get used to it. Next time, take a Gravol, non-drowsy Gravol before you fly. You'll be fine. And I'm like, yeah, okay, sure. Anyways, so we're at our cruising altitude. I don't remember how high up, but you're several thousand feet up. He says, open the window.
Oh, is it on the
to
side?
Get some fresh air.
It's right here by your head?
Yeah, like literally right here.
That's fun.
Just open the window, get some fresh air. And I'm like, what? You're telling me to open the window in the plane. Okay.
That's something I've always wanted to go in, one of those like biplanes where you're sitting in an open cockpit. That would be fun.
Well, my goal eventually is to own a lakefront property. Well, it could even be our own cottage right now.
Yeah.
Where I can go to drive to Burlington or Brampton.
Yeah.
Hop in a plane that I rent or own. You can actually own a plane like that relatively inexpensive. Like
probably 100, 150K or something.
Even less. You buy a used one for 70, 80K. It's the maintenance and the storage and all that costs the money and the fuel. But yeah, it's like the price of a nice car nowadays.
Right.
So drive up to the airport and fly and land on the cottage. But you need a special license to be able to land in the water.
I knew that because Erin, my sister-in-law, her dad has that. So she's been up in it often. That would be fun.
Does he rent or he owns?
Rents it, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good option.
Pretty economical. Anyways.
So last year, just to go back to this whole noise complaint thing. So last year, Milton Councillor Mike Cluett pointed out that the number of registered noise complaints in Milton jumped from 2,400 in 2017 to 18,461.
Because of planes?
In 2018. Noise complaints, yes. Because of registered noise complaints, but they're referring to air pollution in airplanes. So I would assume that's what it's referencing. But the funny thing is, there have been no major changes in flight paths or volumes during this time, and that 98% of the complaints came from one person.
What?
How does that make sense? Do you want to do the math?
So 14,000 complaints from one person?
18,000 complaints, and 98% of them.
18,000. Wow.
98% of them came from one person. There's no way.
That article, something's wrong with that.
100%. Or somebody's just
or I want
to
to get that person on the podcast.
We need to get that person on the podcast, yeah.
If you made 16,500 complaints.
Like how many would that be? I guess it could be email, phone calls. It would be continuous complaints.
Dude, that would be like...
That's your job.
That would be like 50 complaints a day.
Yeah, it would be unfathomable. I cannot believe somebody did that. So that can't be accurate. There must be a misprint.
So, okay, so what's your take on the noise?
Anyways, it doesn't bother me at all. It's just like the train.
You know what does kind of bother me, though, that about the flight path that's over our homes is the pollution. I haven't investigated that, but I know, those big airliners, there's pollution that falls from it. I don't know what it's called.
It's probably no different than a car.
Oh,
it's just different fuel.
Well, it's very different because you're burning it at different temperatures and at a much higher speed. And
I can't imagine it's any worse than having 100 cars drive past our house every day.
Well, that's what I don't know. But it's right over, right? So whatever shit is falling into the air is falling right onto us.
Yeah, I grew up with it. I grew up in Meadowville, more or less like exactly east.
Wherever you live in the GTA, you're going to be...
Well, yes, but the further east you go, like where I was, you could see, like you could almost see in the windows. Like it was really cool because at that point they're much lower. But no, it's never bothered me. And if you live anywhere within even an hour and a half drive of the airport, that's what you're going to get.
I enjoy it. I enjoy watching them.
I do too. It reminds me of how I need to take a vacation and how I have needed to for the last 7 years.
Oh, you've been talking about it. Just go.
I have to. Otherwise, I'll probably get divorced. Alicia will leave me if I don't do something. And I think it's ridiculous that people complain about this stuff.
So just book it. Just book it.
Yeah. Well, our big dilemma is kids or no kids. First vacation away in 7 years.
Okay, now I know you won't care. How did she feel about going away with the kids?
She feels the same way as me. So we both feel like we need a vacation. Like it would be nice to go without the kids, but we feel bad because we want them to experience it.
Do you need to do something with those? Because it's 29 minutes in.
I'll check. I think they might be set up okay, though.
Meanwhile, I'll enjoy the rest of this Scotch, courtesy of Chris Behe. So for those of you that enjoy an occasional Scotch, rye, or whiskey, we often have a bottle here at the studio for these purposes. So feel free to stop by and enjoy some with us at any given time. On the note of vacations, we are planning a vacation this winter as well.
Well, you haven't put in your vacation time off report request.
I will tell you when I'm going. That will be my report request. So what were you going to say? Alicia feels the same way as you?
Oh, yeah. We both, obviously, we'd love for the kids to be there so they can experience it. But we also...
Here's the but.
Well, we want to get away without them. Right?
So, okay, so how does she feel leaving without them?
I think we're both okay with that.
Well, then go without them.
Yeah. But Tessa's always like, when do we get to go to the beach? Because she's been to Costa Rica once. And I guess she remembers it. So I'd feel so bad.
She's 5.
Yeah, I know.
It's nice. I have memories of my parents, my grandfather, or my grandparents, and my mom. We took a few trips to Aruba and Bahamas as a child that age, and there's some memories and some photos, which are really nice, but you can take another vacation later in the year.
Yeah, that's true.
Or take, I would do a short trip with the kids. I would do like a 4-day getaway to the Bahamas or something with the kids. And you can find deals, right? And the luxury of your wife not having a job where she's employed.
Are you trying to be careful on what you say?
Yes.
You can't say they don't work. You'll get into trouble for that.
No, she has a very important job, but with both of your schedules, you can pick up and go at any time.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
So a deal pops up for a 4-day getaway. Maybe you take the kids.
It's a good idea.
But treat yourselves to a nice, because there's nothing better than recharging. You'll come back, you'll feel better. You'll actually miss the kids and come back and maybe the relationship is bonded again. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. It's important. Like even
you lose some of that throughout the year. You get frustrated at things. And
yeah, of course. Last week we had a babysitter come, or 2 weeks ago, and we went out for a night. Even that's fun. I want to start doing that almost weekly.
Yeah. We've been out once together since the kids were born.
We should take advantage of each other more often. Like, we live next door to each other.
It's true.
Just put your kids to bed. Bring me the baby monitor. I'll take care of them.
Well, we don't have a baby monitor, so that could be a problem.
You don't?
No, we have.
You have
we have a Nest Cam
camera.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know, but seriously, that's a good idea. I don't think people do that enough.
Yeah.
You should rely on friends to do stuff like that.
So we're going to do a family trip. We're actually going to ask other family to join so that during the vacation, if grandma or grandpa are there, that kind of thing, pass off the kids for a few hours, or for even a night or whatever, and get some together time.
The only thing then is you want to make sure you've got a room or a house that has that can accommodate like naps and stuff, where you don't have to go far from the room. There's like a pool at the door.
Well, that's exactly what I don't know if you heard me talk about this the other day. The one place I was looking at, the room is like an apartment. So you can put the kids to sleep or to nap in the bedroom, and you still have tons of space.
Yeah.
And sliding doors out to the like an infinity pool, and they serve you the drinks and the food at your balcony if you want.
That's nice.
So looking into that. It's bloody expensive though, especially going in the winter.
Oh yeah.
We'll see where we go. St. Lucia's on the list.
I don't know where we would go. I'll figure it out. I need to start planning it.
Anyway, the noise complaints, gotta look into that. Milton is a pretty quiet town, and the fact that some planes fly overhead, embrace it.
Well, it's just like people complaining about reasonable noise from neighbors when you live in a suburban area. Like,
you're gonna start complaining about the trains now too?
Everything. Like, people are ridiculous.
Don't honk your horn past 2 a.m. Like, go to sleep.
Yeah. Well, it's like the whole Mitch Garber thing, how people were complaining about his haunted house thing.
We got to get him. He's wanting to come on the podcast. We just haven't been able to align yet. But
I think that's a good idea.
You got any other topics?
No, that was it. And it's a long day. We're going to call it a night. Finish my whiskey here.
Really?
Yeah. But I wanted to recap that. So the rental market is changing. So we're going to keep our eyes on that because it's changing, slowing down. Prices have still been holding steady.
Just in the last few weeks. What are you?
I know, but it's
Stop
all
being a negative Nancy.
I'm not being negative Nancy. It's all more or less aligning with my prediction of January. So we'll see what happens. And then the noise complaints.
Well, my prediction is the price of homes are going to be going up in 2020.
I think spring is going to be crazy.
Which is going to mean...
Not like 2017 crazy.
I believe there's going to be probably less investors that are buying to have rental properties because the numbers won't align exactly the same like they did in the last 16, 18 months.
Yeah.
Which is, again, going to create a shortage of rental properties. So I think it's just a temporary thing. Once the supply that's here now goes away in January, February, probably into March.
Yeah.
Again, March, April, there's going to be a shortage and the prices are going to pick up. But over this 3-month period, I think prices will come down. So if you're looking at renting a property right now, you can probably get a place much cheaper now than you could have 3 months ago.
Right.
We know that.
Yeah.
But it's playing the market a little bit there too.
It is. I'm done.
Goodbye.
Thanks for listening. Episode 59.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Supposed to take a sip after a
Is
cheers.
that bad luck or something?
Maybe that's why you're tired.